Have you ever promised yourself, I'll start tomorrow, but that tomorrow never really came? We've all done it, pushed our dreams a little further, waiting for the perfect time that never arrives. This is a story about a boy who lived the same lie, until one small change transformed his entire life. In a quiet village, surrounded by green fields and dusty paths, lived a boy named Arun. People in the village often called him lazy. But Arun was not weak or foolish. He just carried silent dreams inside him that never seemed to take flight. Every time he thought of studying, exercising, or helping his parents, a familiar voice in his head whispered, "I'll do it tomorrow." Tomorrow, that one word ruled his life. His books gathered dust. His room stayed messy. His future stayed blurry. Each day slipped away like sand through his fingers. His teachers began to lose faith in him. His grades dropped, and even his friends stopped believing his big plans. At night, Arun would lie on the roof, staring at the stars, and whisper to himself, "Why do I feel stuck? Why can't I change?" But no answer ever came from the sky, only silence. One evening, his mother sat beside him. Her hands were rough from work, but her voice was soft. She said, "My son, life doesn't wait for anyone. Every day you waste becomes a stone you carry on your back. One day those stones will crush you." Arun forced a smile. "What difference will one day make, Ma? I'll change soon." But soon never came. Days became weeks, weeks became months, and his dreams became memories of what could have been. In that same village lived a wise old man, known as Master Devraj. People said he could see potential even in the most hopeless child. One morning, Arun's father decided to take him there. They found Master Devraj sitting under a banyan tree, reading a tattered book. Without looking up, the old man said, "So, you're the boy who waits for tomorrow." Arun's cheeks burned. "Yes, Master. I want to change, but I don't know how." Devraj smiled, and not with pity, but with calm certainty. He reached behind him and pulled out a clay pot and a basket filled with small pebbles. "Here," he said, "take this pot and these stones. Every morning, when you finish your most important task of the day, whether it's studying, reading, or helping your parents, drop one stone in the pot. If you skip the task, leave the pot empty. Return to me after 30 days. Arun looked at the pot and thought, "That's it? Just stones?" He didn't understand, but he agreed. The next morning, when the sun rose over the fields, Arun felt his laziness whisper again, "You can start tomorrow. Just one more day." But then he remembered the old man's eyes, calm, confident, unshakable. He forced himself to open his books. His mind screamed for comfort, but he studied for 1 full hour. When he finally dropped the first stone into the pot, the small clink echoed through the room. It was just a sound, but it felt like victory. That night, for the first time in months, Arun slept peacefully. The second day was harder. His body felt heavy. His thoughts tempted him to skip again. But the thought of an empty pot pushed him forward. He studied, helped his mother, and earned another stone. Day after day, the pot began to fill. Some days he failed. Some days he added nothing. But unlike before, he no longer gave up the next day. He started again, one small action at a time. By the 10th day, his pot had 6 stones. By the 20th, it had 12. Every stone carried a story of discipline, effort, and resistance. Something strange began to happen inside him. The more stones he dropped, the lighter his heart felt. He started waking up earlier, cleaning his room, and helping his father in the fields. The boy who once waited for tomorrow had started living for today. After 30 days, Arun stood before Master Devraj again. He handed the pot over. Inside were 20 stones. With his head low, he said, "Master, I couldn't fill it completely. I missed 10 days. Devraj smiled gently. "My boy, don't count the empty days. Count the stones you earned. A month ago you had 0. 0 habits. Zero consistency. Now you have 20. That is 20 steps closer to your dreams. He placed a hand on Arun's shoulder and said, "One small habit each day may look like nothing, but over time it becomes a mountain. Success is not built in one day. It's built every day." Those words struck deep. Arun felt something awaken inside him. Not motivation, but discipline. From that day, he treated small habits like sacred rituals. He woke up at the same time daily, read for an hour, and spent 10 minutes in silence to clear his thoughts. Little by little, his memory improved. His marks rose. Teachers started praising him again. A year later, Arun was no longer the lazy boy from the village. He had become confident, focused, and calm. With his new habits, he started a small online business selling handmade wooden crafts from his village. At first, sales were small, just a few items a week, but he kept showing up daily, posting, creating, learning. Just like the stones in his pot, his progress was slow but steady. Months later, his business began to grow. People from nearby towns started ordering his products. His honesty and consistency earned him trust. The boy who once postponed his life had now built it. One small habit at a time. Years passed. Arun's business expanded, and he often shared his story with children in his village. He still kept that old clay pot on his desk, filled with stones, faded and cracked. Whenever someone asked about it, he smiled and said, "These stones built my life. This story isn't just about Arun, it's about you." Maybe you also wait for the right time to start. Maybe you tell yourself, "I'll do it when I feel ready." But here's the truth, you will never feel ready. The only right time is today. Tomorrow is a beautiful lie that hides your potential. Every small habit, reading one page, walking for 10 minutes, waking up early, is a stone in your own pot. And one day when you look back, you'll see a mountain built from those tiny stones of effort. So stop waiting for tomorrow. Start small. Start now, because your new life begins not with a big change, but with one small habit today.